Hey guys, we're talking marathon running form today. I'm gonna give you 3 quick tips to run your best. So these 3 tips I'm gonna discuss really actually applies to your race. You know, having a good running form strategy for the race itself. But hey, we know you play how you practice. So if you want a good race strategy, that actually needs to be your practice strategy as well. Really, really important. Now, the first thing I wanna talk about just has to do with body position, breathing, and our shoulders. Now here's a drill. Marathon is a long time to be upright without kind of being slumped over. And it's also a long time to be able to breathe nice and normal. And a lot of times when our breathing is off and when our posture and position is off, we get stressed. The marathon training is stressful itself, and what happens is that those shoulders start to creep up here. And I can't tell you, either from personal experience and from seeing other runners out there, how much pain people start to carry up here in their shoulders. So what's really important is to figure out how to carry enough tension in the system to maintain good alignment, good body position so I can keep my running form without breaking down, but not so much tension, and especially so much tension in the wrong areas that I waste energy, I start to fatigue early on, and I start to deal with these weird cramps in our shoulders. So the biggest thing we're gonna do here, guys, is just awareness. That's the biggest one. Can I really think about my posture and my shoulders position throughout the day? Do I catch myself slumping over here? Because guess what, and I've said this before, if I spend 6 to 8 hours a day either driving my car, being on a computer, on my phone in this position, guess what my race photo is gonna look like? It's gonna be here, right? And it's not something you're gonna wanna put on your wall. We wanna be here. So if I wanna be this superhero in my actual race, high five everyone, everything's going amazing, guess what? I need to be a superhero in regular life. I need to be nice and tall and relaxed. And we're not talking rigid. I don't need to be weird, right? We don't want that, but we just need to be aware. Right? And every once in a while, what's gonna happen? You're gonna slump over to one side and be like, oh yeah, I gotta get up. You're gonna slump over and you can be like, oh yeah, I gotta get up. If I can start to do that, I can start to translate that into my run. And the other key thing to think about is just my breathing. If I can breathe better through my nose and into my diaphragm, that's actually gonna get this belly involved a little bit more, which is gonna stabilize my hips, which is gonna get me out of breathing through my chest and my shoulders, which is gonna help a lot too. You've seen this with some of our videos potentially where we talk about nose breathing for a warm-up. If you've never done it before, that's okay. On your next run, just try to breathe for the first 5 minutes out of your nose. And what that's gonna do is force me to breathe through my belly. Does that mean you have to breathe through your nose all the time through your marathon? No, you should breathe through your mouth. But what we wanna avoid is breathing up through our chest. We need to breathe down here. If I can think about posture and I can think about breathing, that's gonna go a long way into setting me up for a successful marathon. Now, in our marathon race itself and actually in the training, we want to adopt a higher cadence. And I can almost say that universally for probably 90 to 95% of the runners out there. The only runners that I will exclude from that little realm are actually people who've already specifically focused on their cadence and have really worked on it and really pay attention to it in their running. And if you're that person, congratulations, you know how big a difference that makes in your performance and in how your body feels. And guys, cadence is the number of time my foot hits the ground in a minute. One of the things that happens when we lose body position, we get tired, is that our cadence, which is maybe faster in the beginning, starts to slow down, right? Where all of a sudden I'm in the marathon shuffle world and it's this survival slog all the way through that doesn't really do me any favors. What happens is that sometimes when I start to lose and slow my cadence, I end up pushing off through my toes a whole lot more, and all of a sudden my head starts to vertically bounce. I'm adding inches up, but that's not adding inches forward, right? So I want all this energy going this way, minimizing how much goes up. And just by focusing on that count, and by focusing on, instead of pushing off so much, maybe pulling my feet up off the ground underneath me, what I can actually do is just shorten my stride, shorten the amount of time my foot lands on the ground. I have to be in a better position to do that. I have to breathe in order to maintain that cadence. I have to have a better arm swing. So this cadence is like this master run cue that makes sure that everything further up the chain is in line for this higher cadence to happen. to set a baseline for yourself, count for 30 seconds the amount of time your foot hits the ground. And we're not even going to say what your number should be from an ideal standpoint. I'm not going to give you any specific number because I really can't say that. But what I can say is if you try to bump that number up slowly over time, your running is going to feel a lot better and your body is going to do the convincing. I don't even need to convince it for you because you're going to be like, hey, this feels a whole lot better. So let's say you go and you're like 40 in that 30-second period. We would double that. That would be a cadence of 80. Hey, try to get that number from 40, say to 42 or to 44. All of a sudden we're going to 84, we're going to 86, 88, and all of a sudden my cadence is going to be a little bit higher. You're going to notice one more thing on this cadence thing. As we fatigue, the number one thing that drops is our cadence. That's the one thing that starts to slow down. Our 46 drops down to a 45, drops down to a 44, and what means is that we're just slowly slowing down. So if I can keep that cadence up, that's actually going to keep my speed up as well. Definitely helpful for that marathon. Final tip, guys, here. Every 15 to 30 minutes in my runs, especially my long runs, I need to change it up. I need to break myself out of whatever movement pattern I'm in and reset my posture, my mechanics, my mental thinking, and that way I can go ahead and keep moving with higher quality movement. And the classic way to change or break this up would be the walk break, right? But we don't just have to walk. I could stop and I could knock out a few air squats, something like this. If you're someone who's particularly bold, you could drop down and do a burpee or two in between just as a way, and I'll even do one just for you, where all of a sudden in the middle of my run, every 15 to 30 minutes, maybe not in the race, but just the training is a great way to, you know, physically, proverbially get that splash of cold water on your face. You're like, oh yeah, I'm awake, I'm tall. This is what it means like to be a human being, not just this runner who's congealed into this ugly, stuck runner position who's just shuffling down the road. If I can do that every 15 to 30 minutes, it's actually gonna help me a lot. The other thing that's nice about it is that I'm in this long run, it's never ending. Mentally, I'm going to a bad place. Hey, I only need to focus on the next 15 minutes until I can stop running and do something else. That'll probably be one of the only times you'll be glad to do burpees, right? Rather than just running itself. So if I can do that, that can string together higher quality mechanics, mentally keep me in the game, take this big segment and break it down into smaller, more digestible chunks I can focus on. And if I can connect that with my other two pieces about staying relaxed and tall up here, keeping my cadence up high, I'm gonna have a fantastic marathon or any other running race. What's up, guys? One more thing. If you like this video, go ahead and let me know. Hit that like button down below. If you have any comments on some of the ideas we talked about today, any future video requests, hit us up in the comments section. We always like to have a little conversation there. Definitely subscribe to our channel if you want more great run content on training, on strength training, on injury prevention, on marathons. We got it all right at the Run Experience every single week. And finally, if you want more marathon training come your way, if you want a free, downloadable, comprehensive training guide, everything you need to know to train your best for your marathon, well, you're in luck. All you need to do is click this link in this video. If you happen to be on a mobile device, there's a link down below in the description that will just take you to a page. Once you're there, all you need to do is enter your name and your email, and I'll be able to personally send you that marathon training guide. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.